What a beautiful day in Lexington, Kentucky. Good day to throw the football around right outside Kroger Field. The Wildcats are ready to take on the Mocs of UT Chattanooga, Kentucky, looking for a rare 3-0 start under Coach Stoops. Fans are fired up, team is fired up, we're fired up. Kentucky and UT Chat from the Southern Conference. Hello, everybody, and welcome. He is the former Ohio State Buckeye tight end and NFL tight end, Ben Hartsock. I am Mike Morgan. Great to be with you. Ben, there's a certain buzz in the air here in Lexington. We have felt it since we arrived a couple of days ago. They've been excited about wins here for a while under Coach Stoops. He's had a tremendous tenure, but what is new to the equation is a high potent passing attack led by two transfers.
Yeah, the reality of this UK offense is in the past 10 years, it's been in the bottom half of scoring offense. So Coach Stoops brings a new offensive coordinator in. Liam Cohen comes from the Los Angeles Rams, that Sean McVay tree. Now, what that brings is a continued physical rushing attack, which UK fans know, but a new dynamic play-action passing attack that is in the first two games that UK has played this season led to 500 yards of total offense or more in both games.
Will Levis was the backup with the Nittany Lions of Penn State. He wanted to start, and he wanted a pro-style offense. Both of his wishes were granted in Lexington. And for more on the new signal caller for the Wildcats, here's Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Mike, when you look at Will Levis, yes, he has the body of an action figure, and he loves steamrolling defenders. But he's much more than that. He is a quarterback who wants to beat teams with his arm and his mind. And when he decided to transfer from Kentucky, from Penn State, the intent, well, it's simple. It's to be a pro quarterback. In 2 games at Kentucky, he has more touchdown passes than he did in 2 years at Penn State. Levis found a perfect match with offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, who has a strong grasp of the NFL play-action pass game, and Cohen was a quarterback himself. These two offensive minds are speaking the same language.
No doubt about it. Of course, Liam Cohen actually recruited Levis early on in the process when he was a coach at Maine. A lot of people thought Cohen was destined to be an Ivy League quarterback. Schools got on him late, and we'll get to see Will Levis and that Kentucky potent offensive attack as they have won the toss, elected to receive from the 12-yard line at the 25 and down to the 30. That is Cavassier Smoke, who normally wears number 0, but he will be wearing number 22 today in honor of the senior linebacker Chris Oates, who of course has been battling a serious medical condition. There is Will Levis, the 6'3" signal caller out of Madison, Connecticut. 232 pounds. Yeah, he is built like a bulldozer, and he'll bulldoze defenders at times, but what they really love about Will Levis is the arm talent that he possesses. He'll start off in the shotgun on first down and show off that arm. Completes it at the 35 to Wan'Dale Robinson, the talented transfer out of Nebraska, good for 8 yards. What do you like the most about Will Levis's talent overall?
Well, he's the new era of quarterback. That there's now a standard minimum of athleticism that a quarterback needs to have. Now listen, Will Levis isn't Lamar Jackson, but he is a dynamic athlete. Couple that with a really talented deep throw, and he's a really exciting quarterback that UK has gotten as a transfer.
Smoke in the backfield on second and short. Levis lasers one complete to midfield, and barging into Mocs territory is Josh Ali for 18 yards.
Here's that play action look right out of the gate. You've got two receivers headed down the field. That's a little bit behind right there. Levis, one of the things Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator, said wants to work on is not to aim so much. Deep throws just happen. So sometimes these mid to short range throws, it's easy to aim them.
Little reverse play. That's going to be Drennan on the carry. 5'11" sophomore out of Dublin, Ohio. One of the backup wide receivers getting a rare touch.
We expect to see a lot of bodies rotating in. As Liam Cohen, I was at practice yesterday, got rotating through a lot of first unit, second unit. Obviously, if this game gets out of hand later in the matchup, there will be more and more subs coming in. But a lot of players still outside of Wan'Dale Robinson and Josh Ali. Not a lot of known at the wide receiver position.
I've not seen Chris Rodriguez, one of the top rushers in the Southeastern Conference yet. Pre-snap penalty. That'll be a false start on Kentucky.
False start on the offense, number 10. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on Chauncey Magwood. So we're seeing a couple of the backups so far on this opening drive for the Wildcats as you look at head coach Mark Stoops. Now in his 9th year with the program, and he's not that far off from becoming the all-time wins leader in Kentucky coaching history. He would pass one Paul Bear Bryant in the process. On 2nd and 14, back to the ground, gaping hole up the middle for Smoke. Down to the 40-yard line, a gain of 9. Brandon Dowdell on the tackle.
This UK offensive line is going to be one of the best in all of the SEC. And Mark Stoops talked about it's easy to forget how long he's been at the University of Kentucky, but he really recognized this change offensively. It represents a reset for him in many ways as he walks into the second half of his career here at UK.
I like the word he used, rejuvenated this year. On 3rd and 5, that'll rejuvenate the drive and keep it going. Josh Ali, 98 career receptions for the senior out of Hollywood, Florida, 8 yards and a first down.
One of the things you see out of Will Levis is he wasn't able to be the guy at Penn State, and now being here and everybody has rallied around him, and you can see him carrying himself with the confidence, and that impacts how you play the game, and he is looking completely at ease leading this offense right now.
Continuing to march down the field, lengthy drive, little pocket mobility displayed, rifles one just out of the reach of Robinson. You see some of the arm strength on that attempt. Was Freeman on the coverage.
Wan'Dale Robinson, the transfer from Nebraska, was the absolute focal point of Nebraska's offense a year ago, and he's going to be dynamic here. Look at that move at the top of the route. He is a lightning rod of an athlete. Strong, powerful, quick change of direction. That's one that Will Levis is going to miss having. That was a big opportunity there. Another one of those heavy play action looks. 7th
play of the drive, 2nd down and 10. Smoke gets the carry, picking his way through tacklers, shifting left and right, and bringing it all the way to the 21-yard line for a first down and a pickup of 11.
Look at the inside, the interior of this offensive line. Look at that center, gaping hole, climbing up to the next level, finding those linebackers. That's one of the things during film study that I noticed about this UK offensive line. They do an excellent job of double teaming at the line of scrimmage and then climbing to the next level to take a 4-yard gain and to turn it into a first down.
They call it the big blue wall, and it's been a staple in the flat. Wide open is DeMarcus Harris, the sophomore out of Vero Beach, Florida. Now, Will Levis in the red zone this year has been automatic, Ben Hartzog.
Well, they've been able to keep in phase in both of their early season matchups. They've not been in long yardage situations able to keep on track as a play caller for Liam Cohen.
Trying to make it 9 for 9 this year in the red zone. First down and 10. They could still get another first down at the 1-yard line. It'll end around. It's Ali to the corner, and Ali is in for the score. First rushing touchdown of the year for Ali, 11 yards, and Kentucky strikes first.
Last week, that same jet sweep action went to Wan'Dale Robinson, and he took it for about 65 yards. This week, Josh Ali got the call. Great opening drive for UK right there. They mixed their run game, they mixed play action. They had some short and intermediate passes, an absolute ideal start for this UK offense. And there's a lot of excitement here in Lexington about this UK offense.
Ruffalo hammers the extra point, a 9-play, 70-yard drive. Kentucky looking smooth on offense. How about a little Josh Ali, the senior, on the score? Receptions. He added to that total and got a rushing score. And the Wildcats 9-play, 75-yard opening drive. A 7-0 lead for Big Blue. The Mocs of UT Chattanooga out of the Southern Conference will get to show what they can do on offense. And we will get our first introduction to their starting quarterback. He's out of Cleveland, Tennessee. His name is Cole Copeland. He was not the main guy during the spring. Remember, FCS schools played a spring football season, but he's taken over the job. And Rusty Wright, the head coach, was joking with us. He said, you know, when I got here, he just wasn't going to any class. Like, I didn't even know if he was engaged or not. And I told him, you got to go to class if you're going to play.
Well, they had a bunch of coaches there from Tom Arth and then to Rusty Wright. Cole Copeland was all SoCon, all freshman team in 2017, but left the team, walked back on after the spring season, and now has earned the starting nod.
On first down between the tackles. That's going to be Alim Ford, sophomore from Florence, South Carolina. He's their most dangerous weapon. I always feel obligated to say this, Ben. You and I cover a lot of different leagues and levels. Not all FCS programs are built alike. This is a top 25 UT Chat program. This is not some of the others that you could just completely fall asleep on.
Absolutely, and Alim Ford is one of these talented players for this Chattanooga team.
On second down and 7, Ford is the lone back. He'll get it and powers ahead to the 34-yard line. So about a yard shy of the first for the Mocs.
Alim Ford is one of these little undersized, like a tree stump. He looks like the kind of guy that growls when he carries the football.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of noise that you hear down in the pit, down there in the action at the line of scrimmage. Usually it's the offensive and defensive line. I don't know this for certain, but Alim Ford, I would peg him as a growler when he runs.
Very similar to your antics before we came on camera just a few moments ago.
Got to get hype.
I liked it. Primal scream for one, Brent Hartsock. 3rd down and 1. See if the Mocs can make some noise here. Staggered eye look. Hand off, gaping hole right side, past midfield. Breaking tackles is Ford. A foot race, and is tackled from behind inside the 20. Carrington Valentine might have saved a touchdown. 48 yards.
Kentucky brings linebacker pressure. You saw it square right there, run into the back of the defensive line, so that left the gap integrity open, and Alim Ford was able to find a gaping hole with nobody there and is able to break the tackle of the safety for a huge gain.
Biggest play of the game thus far. And into the red zone are the Mocs. On first down, again to the ground. And again, now this time it's Tyrell Price. And Price pushing the pile all the way to the 9-yard line, a pickup of 9. They like all 3 of their backs, Appleberry, Price, and of course Alim Ford. They're reading Gainer on the ground with 174 yards.
Well, and you mentioned the talent of this Chattanooga team. This isn't just any FCS program, and they also returned 5 of their offensive linemen from the spring season. They've got a couple of guys in their 7th year of eligibility. So these guys, they have the size. They're 300-pounders up there. Not all of them, but they're big, and they're right now holding toe-to-toe with a very talented and very massive UK defensive front.
Second down and a yard. Not that time. Dropped for a loss in the backfield. That is J.J. Weaver, who starts in place of Jordan Wright, who's banged up with a knee injury.
J.J. Weaver coming from the outside right there. He runs by the defender. Looks like the Chattanooga offensive player went right by, missed assignment there. Easy pickup for Weaver, and Weaver's going to be one of these guys that's replacing Jordan Wright, the usual outside jack linebacker. But with J.J. Weaver, a long, slender build, tremendously twitchy. I love his get off, but if you can get your hands on him, he can be locked down because he's such a slight build.
Goes for a loss of 3, makes it 3rd and 4. Little bubble screen caught, and a clear path to the end zone for a touchdown. That's their number 1 target, Reginald Henderson. 12 yards and a score.
Here's an example of some aggressiveness not working in your favor. 14 Carrington Valentine tried to capture that bubble screen from behind, but was not able to get the tackle behind the line of scrimmage and allows the receiver to get in for a touchdown.
Freshman Aaron Sears on for the extra point. And don't look now, but the Mocs have tied things up with an impressive drive of their own.
This Moccasins team is coming out and not letting themselves get pushed around. We've got ourselves a football game in the SEC.
Right, in his third year, former tight end for the Mocs back in the day, and very excited about that opening drive for a score. Ben, break this touchdown down for us.
Well, as you look here at the bottom of the screen, you see that Reginald Harrison, #1 wide receiver for this team, it's just a now route. He's running 1-2 steps down and coming back away. And Carrington Valentine tries to jump the route, you're taught to be aggressive at that cornerback position, but is simply out of place. And 75, the offensive lineman, just in the right spot, able for Harrison to get away. And Rusty Wright talked about this. He said, listen, all I want is our guys to at least be in the right spot, fit the run right, execute the assignment right. We may get run over in the process, but right now Chattanooga is in the right spot and they're scoring points.
Johnson from the goal line takes it out to the 22-yard line. So another look at Kentucky's offense led by Will Levis, the transfer from Penn State, working under the direction of offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, who came from the Rams, another Sean McVay disciple. There's plenty of them sprinkled throughout the NFL and now college football. There you see Liam Cohen. Great discussion with him. You know, he's a guy like most of these guys are grinders, right? I mean, he had to work his way, small colleges up in the Northeast, then an assistant wide receivers and quarterback coach with the Rams. We asked him, why'd you take the OC job at Kentucky? He didn't lie to us. He said, money. Why does anybody take a promotion? You got to have some cash to back up a good offer. He got that here. The commitment to football in Lexington, as good as I've seen it in so many years coming here, and the excitement in the air is as great as it's been.
And the relationship of Liam Cohen with Will Levis is really special. I think a coordinator that's down on the sideline, a lot of offensive coordinators live up in the booth. Really a good connection between quarterback and play caller.
We did not see Chris Rodriguez on the opening drive. He's in the backfield here, and he'll get the carry on second down. Rodriguez, first down yardage out to the 33-yard line. And for more on that, let's say hello to Kark.
You know, you guys talk about the connection with coordinator and quarterback. When Will Levis left Penn State, it was critical that he found an offense that would let him flourish and potentially get him ready for the next level, playing NFL quarterback. And these two obviously are in sync. And Will Levis, I think the book on him when I did Penn State games was he's a running quarterback. Far from that. And Liam Cohen is maximizing number 7 in blue.
Certainly is. And Will Levis wanted to play in an offense where you actually do go under center. It's not just kind of a spread offense that you see a lot in college. This is more of a pro style and will get him ready for the next level. How about this? Will Levis was on the Penn State team that lost to Kentucky in the Citrus Bowl. That was his introduction to Kentucky football.
It's transfer portal era. It's hard to keep track of who's wearing which uniform.
Second down and 5. Rodriguez, the lone back. And he will get the carry. Looked like a little bit of miscommunication as he bumps into Will Levis. That'll be a loss of a yard.
We have some excellent outside pursuit from Chattanooga right here, but watch the interior of this offensive line. We are ejecting defensive linemen off of the line of scrimmage. Great job by Jay Person right there, scraping from the outside. Individual effort there, but there was tremendous movement at the line of scrimmage by the UK offensive lineman, that big blue wall.
And third down and intermediate for Kentucky, 3rd and 5 to be exact. Levis will work out of the shotgun, a 4-wide set. Here comes the blitz. Levis cocks and fires, missiles one complete to the 48-yard line. Josh Ali, good for a first down.
Chattanooga bringing some pressure there. Excellent by Will Levis, staying poised in the pocket. That's what he mentioned to us. The area of his game that he wants to continue to hone is pocket awareness, pocket presence. When you have an athlete and when you have the ability to scramble the way that Will Levis has, it's easy to get happy feet and get out of the pocket. Great job right there by staying in the pocket and distributing the ball.
Motion pre-snap, and that will
False
back him
start.
up 5.
75 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's on Eli Cox, the right guard. In Kentucky, certain programs develop a DNA and identity. And under Mark Stoops, the big blue wall, that offensive line, year in, year out, it's become their calling card. You know they're going to be good up front.
Yeah, John Schlarman, the longtime offensive line coach who lost his life to cancer, absolutely has his DNA all over that offensive line.
With play action, rifles one complete. That's Wan'Dale Robinson, his first catch, pickup of 6 yards.
There we see a RPO, run pass option to Wan'Dale Robinson. There's a diversity of scheme with Liam Cohen's offense here. It's not just pro set under center. They'll do shifts, they'll do motions. They've already gone some empty sets. They're going to run some zone read where the quarterback can get out on the run, and there you see an RPO.
Now 2nd down and 9. 7th play of the drive for the Wildcats. Pressure, hit as he throws, and in and out of the hands of Robinson. That play was blown up by great pursuit. That's the Sam linebacker, Jay Person.
Another example of Levis staying in the pocket here, allowing his receiver to get open. Takes a pretty substantial hit, but again, stays in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield. And an unfortunate, uncharacteristic drop from Wan'Dale Robinson.
Looks like Kentucky has been living on 3rd down in the first 2 drives. This will be a 3rd and 9.
See, they're out of phase because of that early procedural penalty.
Levis in the pocket. Deep ball down the middle and out of the outstretched arms of the tight end. That's Isaiah Cummings, the sophomore out of Louisville.
That's 2 deep throws that Will Levis is going to wish that he had back. Isaiah Cummings has multiple steps on a linebacker. That's a matchup that you like. But that ball was well out of reach.
We were told since Wilson Berry, the normal punter from Australia, has been struggling, we might see Colin Goodfellow. He is on to punt, number 94, but a timeout first. We'll step aside. 7-7 our score. While we were away, head coach Mark Stoops reminding his Wildcats time to get the wake-up call here. This is a tough UT Chattanooga team, a top 25 FCS school. If we learned anything from the first weeks of college football, Ben, is that FCS teams can upset even Power 5. Just ask the Florida State Seminoles in their loss to Jack State. Berry on to punt for Kentucky, end over end, and a fair catch at the 14. Say hello again to Cart.
Well, gentlemen, before the game when I spoke to Mark Stoops, one thing that he was really pleased with after 2 weeks of the season was the effort. He said the guys played really, really hard with a ton of energy. That's obviously not the case right now. Last week they played an SEC East foe in Missouri, coming off a big win. These guys read the press clippings, and they know how hard it is for an FCS opponent to beat a Power 5. So manufacturing that type of energy, Ben, you know from your days at Ohio State, it's not the easiest thing.
Yeah, not playing down to the level of your competition is always a challenge. That's something that coaches constantly harp on. I don't know why that's the case. I can't tell you how many games I played in where unfortunately it seemed we would play down to the level of our competition.
The noon kick doesn't tend to be a real energy builder for a lot of players either, right? I mean, you got to get up a little earlier. Not everybody's an early riser.
Yeah, it's an earlier morning, but honestly, every player's a little bit different. I always liked noon kicks just because I didn't like sitting around the hotel all day. The nighttime kicks, you know, I think we said this last night. It's that 3 p.m. kick's really the sweet spot.
That's the sweet spot.
That's the sweet spot.
Second down and 10. Cole Copeland leading this Mocs offense. You got trips to the top of your screen. A little inside handoff and bottled up near the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit there. Ford could not find daylight. Marquez Bembry in on the stop.
You can see some of the techniques that the Chattanooga offensive line is using to try to counteract that size advantage that UK has on that defensive front. Chopping down Marquand McCall, who's he's down to 350 from 380. Massive bodies on the interior of that UK defensive front.
Crowd comes alive on 3rd and 9. Sets up the screen pass to Ford. Ford trying to get to the edge, can't do it. Sworn under by a sea of blue. So Jalen Geiger, one of the men to meet him, number 34.
Great job by Geiger and other secondary players to rally to the ball right there. And now you can sense the energy in the stadium right now, and you see the players getting up, fired up, being excited. Right now, UK has got a little bit of momentum. Now it's important to execute this punt return well, get the ball back to your offense, and grab a hold and capture some momentum for UK.
Robinson can be electric. And he'll call for the fair catch on the retreat at the 32-yard line. That's where Kentucky will set up shop. And another look at Will Levis. Third drive for Big Blue. And you see the family tree. Mike Levis, the father, David Kelly, the grandfather, all playing football. Of course, Will transferring from the Nittany Lions, where he was a backup and really was known more of a bruising running quarterback, almost in the Dan Kendra mold, if you remember him from years ago. He has that kind of build, but he also has a heck of an arm, and he was able to show it in week 1. He's already done some things that Kentucky quarterbacks have not done in a while. This guy's been doing it his entire career. Chris Rodriguez, over 1,700 career yards, 20 career touchdowns, and 9 more on that pickup.
Rodriguez is bigger than you think. I got to stand next to him at practice yesterday. He's listed at 5'11", 224, but he has a presence about him. He's a guy that's, well, maybe not a 6-footer, but he's got a lot of power, and you saw the speed on display right there, able to capture the edge of the Mocs defense.
Junior from McDonough, Georgia, Chris Rodriguez. They'll feed him again. Breaking tackles, first down, and then plowing ahead. Bulldozes a defender at the 45. Late penalty flag. That was thrown from 30 yards away in the secondary of the Mocs. Our referee today is David Smith.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 65 on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. It will be 1st and 10.
That is Austin Dotson, who is actually donning number 65 today in honor of John Schlarman. And there is the late shot, blowing up Cameron Brown after the play was over. 3 penalties now for Kentucky for 25 yards.
It's a fine line. Offensive line want to be physical and nasty, but can't clean up the pile in today's football.
That'll back him up 15. Still 1st and 10. Here's Smoke. Bending for extra yards. He'll gobble up 5. Ty Beck on the stop for UT Chattanooga.
The luxury for this UK offense with Chris Rodriguez. He's a do-it-all back. He can run through between the tackles. He can work the outside. And then Cavassier Smoke has tremendous change of direction. He feels like he's walking or running above the turf down there when he gets the ball in his hands. Really a dynamic athlete, a good 1-2 punch in the SEC.
A good opening 15 minutes here in Lexington. It's the Wildcats 7, the Mocs 7. Kentucky trying to make it 3-0 on the season. Youngsters throwing the football outside of Kroger Field. Some early risers here inside. Ready for quarter number 2. 7-7 ball game. Levis out of the shotgun. Little flea flicker. Levis has time. Deep ball. Wan'Dale Robinson. Great coverage on the play. Crowd wanted the penalty. It's Ruben Lowry draped all over Wan'Dale Robinson step for step.
Flea flicker, you can tell they're trying to continue to stretch this field vertically. And another miss. Wan'Dale Robinson has position. That's a good no call by the referee. That is just the third overthrow now by Will Levis. We have seen wide receivers running open, but when they have not been able to make the connection downfield.
Levis has not been particularly sharp in the early going of this ball game. Another third down, 3rd and 5. Levis going to tuck it and run. We know he can do this well, and then he's lassoed down at the 41 right near the sticks. Justin Sanders got him up top.
This is a really critical moment for Will Levis and his development as a starting quarterback. You come out and you miss 3 open receivers on 3 what would be huge plays, potentially touchdowns, and you're just off axis a little bit. And Liam Cohen talked about building confidence in this young quarterback is absolutely critical. I expect them to get back to shorter throws, get him back on track, back in phase, because I'm sure he's thinking in the back of his mind, boy, I'm off today.
Play action on 1st down, again looking deep, and again looking. Robinson hauls it in at the 20. 1st down and then some. Wan'Dale Robinson from Frankfurt went to Nebraska, and boy, are they glad he came back home. 39 yards.
Both of these receivers stacked up. One breaks short, one breaks long, puts the defenders in conflict. Wide open for Wan'Dale Robinson, and that's exactly what Will Levis needed to settle back down, settle in, get the ball to your playmaker. Huge moment.
Liam Cohen describes Wan'Dale Robinson as a gym rat. Just wants to be great, terrific worker. Does everything they ask him to do. 7th play of the drive. Levis cocks and fires. Wide open touchdown. Isaiah Epps. 20 yards and a Wildcat score.
I got to see this this play ran at practice yesterday. They run a swing route from the from the running back to the short side of the field, and that draws up that defense and allows the wheel route back in the back of the end zone to be open for Will Levis.
Extra point from Ruffalo. Best looking drive for Kentucky. The Wildcats lead at 14-7.
See Will Levis fake to the flat and find the hole route right there in the end zone. Touchdown for UK.
Beating it 14-7, a 7-play drive capped off by a 20-yard touchdown reception for Isaiah Epps, the senior, with his first career touchdown reception. Kick will detour out of bounds, so a break for the Mocs. I need a Ben Hartsock breakdown.
Offense is about putting players in conflict, and this is a great play design. Watch the running back run the swing route out to the far side of the field, and Will Levis pump fakes, allowing Isaiah Epps to get behind that cornerback who had gone up on the swing route, allowing that opening before the safety can get there from over the top. Excellent play call and excellent execution by Will Levis and the UK offense.
And you can see the play action has been a big part of what they do. On first down, Gary probing the right side as Ford doesn't find much, squeezes out a yard before brought down by Wan'Dale Robinson, number 9.
Excellent backside pursuit by Wan'Dale Robinson coming from that nickel linebacker position.
Copeland going to audible on second down and 9. Again, steady diet of a limb forward. The sophomore from Florence, brought down by Jaquez Jones, the former Ole Miss Rebel. They're really high on what Jaquez Jones brings to the table.
Yeah, he's a guy that comes in from Ole Miss as a transfer, had 75 tackles a year ago for the Rebels, and a guy that integrated himself, endeared himself well to the team. And Brad White, the defensive coordinator, said he owns his mistakes well. Not many times do football players come off to the side and say, yeah, that one was on me. That, to me, is a high football character statement that a coach can say about a player.
Transfer portal has been really good to Kentucky this year. On 3rd and 4, that'll back them up 5. Might have been on the tackle, but they
71 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, that's the true freshman Brock Bethea. First penalty of the game for the Mocs, who are 2 of 3 on 3rd down, but now this will be a more daunting task on 3rd and 9.
I've been impressed with Chattanooga's fight. Rusty Wright said, listen, we may get run over, we may get beat physically, but let's at least execute and be assignment sound. And thus far, they've sustained blocks well on this offensive side of the ball.
Split twins. And another whistle. Another penalty flag.
False start. Number 9 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's on the receiver, Tyron Summers. This crowd, I know it's not a sellout. It's SoCon. It's a noon kick, but they're definitely making an impact. You can hear them from all the way up here.
Yeah, it's a sneaky environment. This fan base. The tailgate scene was strong, and they're excited to be supporting their Wildcats.
And they'll be excited about what the defense can do here on 3rd and 14. Copeland from the gun, 3-man rush. Copeland down the sideline. Little jousting going on there between Henderson and Valentine. Valentine wins the battle.
Good redemption play by Carrington Valentine, who gave up the touchdown earlier on the screen. Excellent job of staying on top of the receiver. You're entitled to that space just as much as the wide receiver. No overly handsy play. Excellent technique and placement by the cornerback.
Pierce on to punt. Robinson back to receive. Not much hang time on this one. He'll take a bounce at the 30 and then roll out of bounds at around the 25-yard line. 11:22 to go, first half. Wildcats up by a touchdown.
We're back in Lexington, and the home Cats are up by 7 against Chattanooga. And this offseason, Mark Stoops found himself one heck of an offensive coordinator in Liam Cohen. It's just what the doctor ordered for an offense that had struggled in past years, in the pass game specifically. Cohen was a record-breaking quarterback at UMass from 2005 to 2008. he spent some time as an assistant with the LA Rams under Sean McVay, who sees offense at another level. Cohen has a really strong sense of the play-action game, and using a guy like Will Levis will only take this Kentucky offense to another level. Cohen looks at game day like a golf caddy. His job is to get to the next play, the next touchdown. He needs to get them, meaning the players, the right tools, and head coach Mark Stoops calls the offense Cohen's show,
80,
and he's committed to the peaks and the valleys.
First down.
Been the story over the last few years with Kentucky, and they've been very successful, obviously, under Coach Mark Stoops, but a lot of criticism at times, conservative play calling. Eddie Gran, who did a lot of good things with what he had over the years. By the way, congratulations to Eddie Gran. He's here today, now named a special assistant to head coach Mark Stoops. Those two have a long-standing friendship in addition to them working together. So Eddie Gran back with the program. Liam Cohen trying to mix up the offense, give them an extra dynamic, and so far we've seen that through 2.5 games this season.
Unfortunately, some procedural errors, some miscommunication, some penalties here, some frustrating things that have been a little too familiar for UK this season. They've won a lot of games, won their first 2 games, but they've had a lot, they've gritted it out and made it harder on themselves in many ways.
Paved the way for another second down and long, 2nd and 16. Levis facing a blitz. Missiles one. Great play. That was going to be right in the hands of Robinson, but Rashawn Freeman knocked it away on the last possible second.
A tight window for Levis to throw that football because Wan'Dale Robinson trying to work over the corner and underneath the safety. But really impressive individual effort there, diving out flat, getting the fingertips on the ball. This Chattanooga team is I'm really impressed with their fight.
Kentucky 3 of 4 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 16. Levis scrambles, fires, picked off at the 30 by the Mocs, and tripped up. Kamiron Smith to the 15-yard line. Crucial mistake that time by Will Levis.
Levis steps up in the pocket. A little bit late delivering this football. Chattanooga is a quarters football team. That means there are 4 guys all lined up about 20 yards deep. That allows them to keep their eyes in the backfield. And Kamiron Smith was able to keep those eyes on the quarterback, watch him step up and bait Will Levis into that throw for a huge moment for this Chattanooga team.
16 yards on a return, penalty flags, and a loss on the play for Ford. You had DeAndre Square, 165 career tackles on the stop. And they might just decline this with a loss of 4 on the play.
Holding on the offense, number 52. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Tom McClendon, Curtis. Let's go back to that last pick. What do you see here, Ben?
Well, you watch Levis. He does a good job of recognizing pressure in the pockets, steps up in the pocket, but you can see the defender the entire time from that angle. Perfect angle to see. Kamiron Smith kept his eyes on Will Levis and was in position to be able to step in front of that pass easily for a pick. And now Chattanooga in the red zone, an opportunity to tie this football game.
Ball back at the 19-yard line. Low snap. Pass is caught at the 15. That'll be the top target. Reginald Henderson, the transfer from MTSU. Corker on the stop after a gain of 7.
Well, we've been talking about just the flatness of this UK offense and defense. A couple of times when big plays happen, a touchdown, yeah, it seems like there's some fist pumping, but it's quick to get deflated again. It's a hot day, kind of a sneaky day, bright sun, easy to get zapped down on that football field. But this UK team is not grasping a game where they should be absolutely in control.
And on a 3rd down and 7, the Mocs want to talk things over. 9:20 to go, first half. Kentucky 14, Chattanooga 7. Chattanooga has popped up on a number of SEC schedules over the years. The last time they beat an SEC team, how about 1958 against the Tennessee Volunteers? Kentucky trying to avoid headlines in that regard. A critical 3rd down and 7. Cole Copeland, the quarterback, working out of the shotgun. Hands it off, right side run, not much there. Conservative play called. Jaquez Jones delivering the lumber after a gain of 2.
Good response by UK defense right here to the sudden change. You get a turnover, you're on a very short field, force Chattanooga to a field goal. That's a win. There should be some excitement. There should be some enthusiasm. This should carry over to the offensive side of the ball.
I'll tell you one thing they do not want to carry over is an injury to Josh Paschal, the talented senior defensive end. 9.5 career sacks to his credit. He is down on one knee at the 15-yard line as he's being tended to. Hopefully he is okay. Big part of that 3-3-5 defense that is run by Brad White, defensive coordinator.
Brad White talked about the leadership he has on this defensive side of the ball. Josh Paschal at the defensive line front, DeAndre Square at the linebacker level, and then Yusef Corker from the secondary. To have 3 dynamic leaders is a real luxury for a defensive coordinator.
Aaron Sears is 2 for 2 on the year. This is from 27 yards out. Snap and hold are true, and so too is the kick. And we're back to a 4-point ball game here in Lexington.
You know, the recipe for an upset for an underdog like Chattanooga is you just keep fighting, you keep punching. Because ultimately in these types of games, an underdog often can punch out of his weight class early, but eventually those body blows after play take their toll. And the UK football team has helped them by all of these miscues. Look, we have some overthrows for an easy touchdown, 2 overthrows by Will Levis. And then you have a bad blitz fit by DeAndre Square, and Chattanooga takes advantage of it for a huge gain. And that's how an FCS program continues to stay in the fight. And if UK doesn't take control of this game, either going into half or early in the 3rd quarter, then a team where usually those body blows would eventually win big would win out versus little. If you get into a game where they get that belief late early in the 3rd and into the 4th quarter, that's how you get some of these FCS upsets that we've seen early in this football season.
Throw in a little sloppiness, 5 penalties, 40 yards for Kentucky. A couple of miscues. Chattanooga doing what they need to do. A little short kickoff, scooped up at the 25 by one of the up men. That's Chauncey Magwood, the wide receiver, takes it out to the 37-yard line. So, you know, sometimes it's easy to forget because Will Levis had such a good opening 2 weeks. Of course, the big win last week against Missouri. They really grounded and pounded Missouri to death more than throw it all over the field like in week 1. He is still learning to be the guy.
Yeah.
And to run this type of offense. So the curve, if you will, the bell curve of education, it's ongoing. It's not a complete process yet.
Confidence is a big part of that as well.
To the ground game, Rodriguez swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Christian Smith knifing in for the stop, and that'll be a loss of a couple.
Since that opening drive, the Chattanooga defensive front has really performed at a high level, getting some penetration right there, forcing Chris Rodriguez to go off of his landmark. That was an outside zone where he wants to aim at the outside of that offensive tackle, but is forced to bubble out and around towards the far side of the field. Chattanooga really punching above their weight class, and it's impressive to watch.
On 2nd and 12. Little orbit action by Drennan, who winds up getting the football and takes it out to the 44-yard line. It'll set up a 3rd and short after a gain of 8 yards. By the way, the defensive coordinator for Chattanooga, Lorenzo Ward. The offensive line coach for Kentucky is Eric Wolford. Those two worked together several years at South Carolina, so a little tick for tack between two guys that know one another very well.
Football's a big business, but it is a very small world.
Small fraternity, right? 3rd down and 3. Robinson in motion. They hand it off, and no dice that time for Rodriguez. Stopped dead in his tracks after a gain of a yard. That is Ty Beck, number 46, the linebacker who they love.
Yeah, when we talked to the coaching staff, they said, listen, you're going to be calling number 46 number a lot in this football game. Keeps his eyes in the backfield, able to elude that offensive lineman that was trying to climb up to get a hold of him. Makes a great open field tackle.
Colin Goodfellow on to punt on 4th down and 2. Takes a nice bounce inside the 10. This is going to look awfully good for Kentucky. Got to stop it now. It's starting to take a detour at the 5. 49-yard punt, no return. Chattanooga on offense when we come back.
Execute, have the right fits, and that's what Chattanooga has done. That was a gaping hole for Lem Ford for a giant gain, and an excellent individual effort by Reginald Henderson to catch that now route and convert it for a touchdown. Right now we've got an FCS opponent in a game against an SEC power in the UK.
There's already been 3 Power 5 schools that have succumbed to an FCS school in a upset, one level or another. Of course, everybody remembers what happened just 7 days ago in Tallahassee. Montana defeated. Washington was top 25 when that game happened. And then Vanderbilt, I had the fortune of covering that one. I don't know where Vanderbilt was in that game, but they weren't in Nashville. They bounced back with a win last week at Colorado State. Kentucky trying to avoid any such drama here. On 2nd down, and a dangerous pass. Henderson and Copeland were not on the same page.
Henderson falls down coming out of the top of the route right there. Fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted. Copeland, a guy that the coaches say really has that it factor, but Henderson falls down and that ball's behind. This is a big opportunity for the UK defense right here. These special teams gives them great field position advantage. If they can hold to a 3 and out, that will really help the UK offense with a short field when they get the ball.
2 backs in the formation on 3rd and 7. Play clock's down to 5. Now 1. Just get the snap off. Copeland delivers a strike, and in and out of the hands of McKinnon, who was wide open. They were playing soft coverage on McKinnon. Valentine was 5 yards away from him.
It wasn't so much soft coverage, but it was a huge collision at the top of this route. Kenor McKinnon is able to get a shove off, and Valentine continues up the field. And it's almost like McKinnon was falling down coming out of his route, surprised the ball was so close to him in its flight. By the time he got his head around, wasn't able to secure the catch.
Saw head coach Rusty Wright on the sideline after that drop. His chili was running hot. It was a big opportunity to keep that drive alive. This will be a return. No fair catch that time by Robinson. 41-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Yeah, Rusty Wright fired up. Former teammate of one Tyrell Owens back when he was playing a tight end and a number of other positions. He's not looking at this as a paycheck game. He wants to win this thing. You were doing that to me pregame, Ben, and quite frankly, I was a little embarrassed.
Getting on his offensive linemen. Want to keep themselves in this game. Want to continue to give this team belief going into half. Short field, though.
In plus territory. Levis on play action all day to throw, and misses his intended target, Josh Ali. This has not been the start to the game that Kentucky's offense had hoped for, particularly in the passing game. Everything just seems a little bit off.
You can see you can see in Levis, he's talking to his running backs and receivers, some miscommunication there. Yesterday's walk-through, or they call it fast run-through practice, Liam Cohen was frustrated. There was some execution errors, mainly specifically with the backups, but at one point he pulled the backups off the field and put the ones back out there because he was just disappointed in some of the mental mistakes that were happening.
They'll go empty on 2nd down, throw underneath, complete, and a 1st down for Josh Ali, who's been the #1 target so far for Will Levis. That'll go for 11 yards.
Every time that UK goes empty backfield, they've been able to get a hitch route wide open. Chattanooga's going to have to adjust to that empty look and either bring some pressure to force, otherwise line up every time and run that play over and over.
Under center this time, Levis rolling out. And again underneath, hits the tight end. Little waggle to Brendan Bates, the junior from Cincinnati, for 4 yards.
You mentioned the development of Will Levis. That play right there, a fake pitch with the bootleg action that gets thrown to a tight end. There's a lot to this Sean McVay offense that Liam Cohen is running. There's so many different schemes and looks under center from the shotgun, so many different checks, reads, assignments that have to be kept straight by the quarterback. It's a lot, but Liam Cohen says that Will Levis is up to the task.
Under 5 minutes to go first half. Levis collects it on one hop, then takes a wallop, completes it at the 30-yard line. That's Epps on the reception, but it only goes for a yard.
This ball comes hot from Levis. Isn't able to secure a dangerous throw there. I understand you want to not take the sack, but boy, he threw that ball, and if that cornerback was driving harder on the outside, that could have been picked, and there would have been no one to stop. That would have been a pick six.
Took a shot from John Prince, the nose tackle. Kentucky 3 of 6 on third down. It's 3rd and 5. Four in the pattern for Levis, and that one was wide of the mark. There is a penalty flag, however, intended for Epps. It's the line judge who threw the flag. This might go against Kentucky.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 83 on the offense. That receiver was covered up. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Justin Rigg, the tight end.
More of those unforced errors. Kentucky's got 2 wins, and there's a lot of excitement in Lexington about this offense and its dynamic passing attack. But you're not going to be able to survive an SEC slate with procedural penalties, with drops, with overthrows. UK's talented, but they've got to get things cleaned up, specifically on this offensive side of the ball.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 5. It would be about a 47-yarder. Blitz coming. Levis hit. Ball is loose and recovered by the Mocs. Jay Person pounces on it. They dialed up a blitz, got Levis, knocked the ball free.
Bob Stoops' look says it all right there. Frustration. Jay Person from that backer position brings a strong dog. 2 guys off the outside of that formation, and it's Person who's got a tremendous motor, a ton of motor out of this linebacker, is able to get in there, swipe on that football, get the ball out. And now the Chattanooga has the ball. A little over 3.5 minutes. Another opportunity to get back in this game.
Certainly not the score that anybody expected up to this point. Chat looking for more. And that one's dropped, well covered on the play, intended for Mays.
I really like the play call there by Joe Pizzo, the offensive coordinator. You just get a big momentum swing, turnover on downs, go heavy play action yourself. You're a run-oriented offense. Take that shot deep. But Copeland held that ball for an awfully long time, waiting for that play to develop. That's when interceptions happen, is when you hold the ball too long. You need to stay in phase as a quarterback.
On 2nd down, into the flat, and bottled up after a quick gain is Tyler Smith. Gave him a couple, but it's going to be 3rd and long. Big chance here for that Kentucky defense to get a stop.
Either offensively or defensively for the University of Kentucky, one of these sides of the ball needs to grasp control. Somebody needs to squeeze this inferior opponent and say, we're bigger, we're stronger, we're in the bigger conference, you're in the FCS, and exert their will, and I just haven't yet seen it today.
On 3rd and 8. Throw underneath. That's short of the marker, and it's still going to be shy. Henderson tried to turn it upfield. Needed 8. Got 7. Decision time for the Mocs.
I think as the underdog in this environment, you've got to go for it. Wide receivers are always taught go a yard past the marker. Catches the ball short and then gives up yardage to try to elude. That's one of those situations. Catch the ball, get upfield as quickly as you can. Huge 4th down.
4th down, called a short 2 for the lone back. Timeout called. Cole Copeland did not like what he saw, and that's a wise move. Just call the timeout. It's the final one for the Mocs, but make sure you got everybody on the same page.
Well, and we saw Rusty Wright. We've seen him a couple times on the sideline going ballistic. Going ballistic again there because the wide receiver gave up yardage when he secured that pass. There are times in situations, where you can give up a yard to try to find greener grass, but in this situation, catch the ball, get north and south immediately, even if you don't get the 1st down. This is a tricky down and distance of 4th down. You said it right. It's a short 2. It's certainly not 4th and 1. And you're not the type of team that Chattanooga that has the horses to just line up and run quarterback sneak and get that kind of displacement for an easy 1st down conversion. This is a tricky play call.
You and I are in agreement, though. If you're Chattanooga, you're on the road, SEC environment, you got to go for it here, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody would second guess the decision, even if you don't. Well, okay, we stand corrected. They bring the punting unit out. A little bit surprised at that, quite frankly. And that will finally come down. We were told any punt that is hit that direction, you've got the sun beaming in from the right of your screen. So that wouldn't affect the return man on that one.
It's the other way.
Yeah,
that'll be in the opposite
That'd be the opposite direction. So I'm a little surprised Wan'Dale not a little more aggressive. 51-yard punt, no return, and turnovers keeping this game close for Chat.
Stepping up in the pocket. Defender's able to keep his eyes in the backfield on the quarterback and jump the route. And a great effort play by the outside linebacker Jay Person for the strip sack and the turnover on downs. UK has had more turnovers this year. Historically, they're a better turnover margin team. That's 6, I believe, on the season.
Yeah, -4 coming in turnover margin. That was the one thing they certainly wanted to clean up. Okay, Ben, you're looking at less than 2 minutes to go. You've got all 3 timeouts. You're backed up inside your own 10. What are we looking at?
Well, this is the opportunity for Will Levis to really grow as a starter. I think you did a good job making the point earlier. He is a first-year starter. He's played a lot of football, and even in the Big Ten, but this is your car to drive, and you need to be able to execute a 2-minute offense. This is plenty of time in college football to move the ball effectively, be comfortable, and execute the full gamut of your offense.
Tight window that time, but missiled complete to Robinson for the 1st down. 13 yards on the hookup.
Really like Will Levis right there. That was on time. Not a moment's hesitation as he delivered that football.
A minute 26 to go, 1st half. Levis. Complete underneath and out to the 35 for another 1st is Robinson, the former Nebraska Cornhusker, for 11.
One of the things that UK has to continue to find out this season is outside of Wan'Dale Robinson and outside of Josh Ali, who are the wide receivers that they can trust.
Quick throw again to Robinson, who's starting to heat up and become a favorite target of Will Levis. 7 more yards on that connection. And a timeout called by Kentucky. 1:07 to go. 14-10 Wildcats. For just joining us, Kentucky had a very successful opening drive, but since then the offense has slowed down. A couple of turnovers, some penalties, the anatomy of an upset, you're looking at it right now. They're doing what they can to keep Chattanooga around, and the Mocs have been able to take advantage.
Yeah, a touchdown here would really regain control for the University of Kentucky, and they've still got over half of the field to try to get all the way down there. But in the college game where you have to, the clock stops to reset the chains after each first down, UK still has 2 timeouts left after that one that they just took. There's plenty of time, and Will Levis, sometimes an offense that is struggling, a change of pace like a 2-minute, oftentimes offensive coordinators will use that change of pace to try to jerk an offense to life. And so far in the early part of this drive, they're executing far more cleanly.
Robinson in motion to the top of the formation. He's been the top target on this drive. Levis buying time, tipped up in the air, and that was almost picked off. Goodness gracious. Intended for Cummings. Smith on the coverage and did a good job to knock that away.
Boy, and there was an opportunity downfield. Will Levis moves from the pocket. Didn't really need to move that way, but he had a wide receiver running deep down the middle of the field, completely uncovered. But Levis's eyes were looking at the pressure first, and then he looked to his shorter intermediate route as opposed to looking downfield. Missed opportunity by UK.
Now it's 3rd down. 3rd and 3. Kentucky just 3 of 7 on 3rd down. 4-man rush. Levis cocks and fires. Did he reel it in or did it hit the turf? It was intended for Robinson. And they will say incomplete. So Kentucky's drive stalls. Another 4th down and short near midfield and another punt. Yep, hit the ground.
The adjustment to that hitch route, that soft cushion that Chattanooga has been giving those hitch routes. You can see the adjustment there. The defender far more aggressive and driving on that route, forcing Levis to throw it outside and away, and not able to make the connection.
Another punt for Goodfellow. That's a good one. And it will bounce inside the 5 and into the end zone.
Let's go back and take a look at that play where I mentioned that the wide receiver might be open. The wide receiver on the far side of the screen on the hash. It's a pick route. These guys are going to run opposite of each other. The inside guy blocks for the outside, running down the middle of the field. Safety over top, but Will Levis has the arm strength to throw that ball low and level to Isaiah Epps and force that with the defender on his back. That could have been a huge gain, but another missed opportunity for this UK defense.
And we'll see if the Mocs play it conservatively or do they keep their foot on the gas with 42 seconds left. I think that's the answer to that question. They might just be content down by 4 at intermission. If you're Rusty Wright and you're Chattanooga, all smiles, right, when you go to the locker room down just 4 on the road, SEC?
Well, they've been able to capitalize on some of the miscues that UK has had, either through penalty, stalling out drives. If UK comes out this second half and simply executes more cleanly, lines up, runs the plays, no penalties, no unforced mental errors, they should easily gain control of this game. But if Chattanooga can continue to find a way to catch lightning in a bottle, we've got ourselves a game going into the second half.
And oh, by the way, Chattanooga will receive the second half kickoff. So Rusty Wright, who was fired up on a couple of occasions, has to be happy overall. Clark is with another fired up coach, Coach Stoops.
Coach, pregame you told me you liked the energy of your team in the first 2 games. How would you describe the energy in the first half?
Not good enough. Clearly not enough focus, not enough discipline, a lot of self-inflicted errors, so we got to get that cleaned up.
What more would you want from your offense in the second half?
Well, number one, quit shooting ourselves in the foot, bad snaps, penalties, not holding on to the football, not hitting open guys, a lot of things.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
14-10, a surprising halftime score from Lexington. Plenty more to come when we return. In Lexington at the half, it's the Wildcats 14, the Mocs of Chattanooga 10. Kentucky with a little bit of sloppiness in the first half. Will Levis did have some moments, so did Kentucky overall. They're dominating this. Mike Morgan, Ben Hartzog. Ben, they're dominating this first half statistically, more than doubling them up in yardage. But Kentucky keeps shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, there's far too many miscues for this UK defense. Whether it's been penalties, procedural errors. Take a look at this. We start off with overthrows. This is supposed to be the hallmark of Will Levis, the best part of his game. He misses Wan'Dale Robinson and then misses his tight end. Those are 2 touchdowns that would absolutely change the complexion of this game. And then an interception where you don't recognize the coverage and that the defender has his eyes in the backfield. And then a 4th down conversion, you let pressure get to your quarterback and you get a sack fumble. And then this one is just the one that is going to drive coaches crazy, the cleaning up the pile at the end of a play. You want your offensive line to play physically, but you can't clean up piles. That is just handing yardage to your opponent.
And there you see, 101, 44 of those came on 1 run for Chattanooga, 236 yards for Kentucky, 14 first downs to 3. But then you look at the turnovers, -2 for Kentucky. That's been an issue so far this year, 5 more penalties. And just at times, Will Levis has not looked sharp throwing the football. So that is how you make this a close game, and that is how it's been a close game up to this point. And for more on that, we say hello to Kark.
Rusty Wright was fired up. He just told me, it is what it is, man. Line up and beat them. It's that simple. He thinks that his team has had every opportunity in the first half. A couple of those drop balls he thinks has really killed momentum. You know, in terms of defensive looks, he likes the pressure they're putting on Will Levis. But he thinks at the end of the day, it's all about lining up against your man, one-on-one. They've thrown nothing exotic at Will Levis. They're just playing their base, simple defense. And he likes the effort of his guys, but he thinks they're really got to clean up in terms of their pass game and catching those balls on those critical 3rd downs.
No doubt, Kark, that was a major issue in the first half, and we'll see if Kentucky stays more dominant through the air in terms of play calling. We did not see what we thought we might, and that is a steady dose of Chris Rodriguez rushing the football. That's been the winning formula for much of Kentucky's prowess over the last few years on offense, including a great performance last week where he ran for over 200 yards. He barely touched the rock, and when he did, you didn't see those explosive plays.
Yeah, UK fans aren't accustomed to seeing 250 yards of offense where only 60 of it come from the rushing attack. So ultimately, if UK can simply come out and clean up its execution, they should start to gap this Chattanooga football team. But if they continue to play sloppy, Rusty Wright is exactly right. We're in this game. They haven't alienated and changed everything that they were as a football team. They're just doing what he said in our production meeting. Execute, align, and play sound football.
Mocs will get it first here in the second half and start things at the 25-yard line. Cole Copeland, pretty solid first half for him. And of course, their leading rusher is Alim Ford. Expect to see a heavy dose of number 32 in white for the Mocs. Mocs come into this game 1-1. Haven't beaten an SEC team in over a half a century. They're trying to pick up one of their biggest wins in program history. They are ranked top 25 at the FCS level, expected to win the Southern Conference this year. On 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Copeland out of the shotgun. Scoops the low snap, throws it underneath. And that is complete for a gain of 6 to Henderson, covered by Carrington Valentine.
Always reminded in this situation coming out of halftime, offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts always said 2 times momentum is up for grabs in a football game. Is it the first drive of the game and the first drive of the second half? I don't think it gets enough attention. This is a huge moment for either one of these teams that are trying to gain control of this game to grasp it in this series.
Couple of backs on 2nd and 4. Probing the left side is Ford. Penalty flag near the 30-yard line after a modest gain. We'll see what the laundry is all about.
Excellent leg churn by Alim Ford. There was good penetration by the UK defensive front, but he's able to drive those legs. Like I said, he's just such a physical, small, muscled up running back. Hard to bring down.
I've seen a lot of those of late. For every Derrick Henry, there's a lot of squatty 5'9" guys who could probably put up 700 in the old squat rack, right?
Yeah, because for them to squat, it's only about a 6-inch
Holding
drop.
on the defense, number 50. 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
That's a huge call. Marquand McCall, we were singing his praises earlier, dropping over 30 pounds. He's now below 350. He's become a leader on that D-line.
How can you have a holding call on a defensive player, especially a D lineman? That means that he was engaged in a double team and he's holding the offensive lineman that is trying to climb up to that next level, not allowing him to try to execute his assignment. Another flat start. That's a frustrating situation for this UK defense to now have to overcome.
It's just another careless penalty that has helped Chattanooga stay in this ball game. Now a late substitution. Are they going to get him off in time? This will be likely another penalty flag. 12 men on the field. Meanwhile, 50-50 ball squirts free. Intended for Henderson with Corker on the coverage, but I don't think Kentucky was able to get that substitution off the field.
No, they absolutely were not. A lot of miscommunication between the middle of that defense about who was coming on and who was coming off. I thought perhaps they were on the field with only 10 defenders, but no, late. One of the linebackers for Kentucky tries to run off the field and was not even past the numbers before the ball was
Illegal
snapped.
Substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Mark Stoops. You have to believe that he got a earful of his team, and you watch here as these guys go out there. There's 12.
Yeah, definitely 12.
Yeah, he didn't even make it close to the numbers.
Josh Paschal, by the way, back on the D-line for Kentucky, which is good news. On first down, deep throw, and nice job coming over the top without interfering and knocking it away was Yusuf Corker, making his 26th career start for Big Blue.
Stoops is in the field judge's ear right there. I'm wondering, there are rules within substitutions that say if the offense makes a substitution, there needs to be time for the defense to substitute. And I'm betting that's what Coach Stoops is fired up about, is that, hey, you have to give us time to adjust so that we can allow our substitutions.
Has to be, because he knows as well as anybody there was 12 on the field. On second down, straight ahead running by Ford, and he is put backwards on the play.
So you watch Chattanooga, see right there, the running back goes to the sideline. They had too many guys on the field themselves. They had 12 and didn't get captured by the referees, which then forces the University of Kentucky to make a substitution. So absolutely, Mark Stoops is well within his right to be irritated, because that was an opportunity. They got the consequence that ultimately Chattanooga should have received.
Now a third down and 4 for Copeland. Has an open target at midfield, and out to the 45 is Tyrell Price, one of the running backs, that three-headed monster they have in the backfield, the senior.
This is the old pick play, rub play. You send the running back out to the flat, and the outside receiver tries to run a block on the defender out there.
That's actually Ford on the reception. I beg your pardon. Now first down and 10. Mocs in plus territory at the 44 of Kentucky. Handoff left side. Banging off defenders, and a little more want to that time by Aleem Ford. That is just second, third effort breaking tackles. Kentucky not wrapping up.
100% chance Aleem Ford was growling the entire time he had the football in his hand. Great execution, good running lane for him to get through, but then he meets the defender in the hole, trucks that defender, continues to bounce outside. Great individual effort by that entire offense, individually by Alim Ford, but also that offensive line for Chattanooga.
Alim Ford came in 153 yards away from 1,500 for his illustrious career. On first down, another complete pass as Copeland heating up on the drive. That's caught by Arnett, the junior out of Belle Glade, Florida.
Gosh, just watch this UK defense. There's no hustle, there's no urgency right now, even as they get back to the line of scrimmage. Looking over to the sideline, someone has to manufacture some juice right now, because look at this. This is the UT Chattanooga Mocs marching down the field against a talented, a top 10, top 5 SEC defense in the UK Wildcats.
This is the 10th play of the drive. They're just marching down the field in the opening drive of the second half. Copeland, again, quick toss. The play was there again. The throw was a little off, intended for Price.
Chattanooga has found the area of this defense that they want to attack. They're working swing routes. They're working routes to the running backs. Trying to find a way to get the ball out of Copeland's hands into the playmaker, because the interior of this UK defense is so big, so strong. Whether it's Marquand McCall, Abdul Abadi Fitzgerald, it's hard to run into the teeth of this UK defense, so they're continuing to work the edges with short passes and swings to the running back.
Third down and 4. Copeland in and out of the hands of Henderson. So now you've got 4th down and 4. They went for it earlier on a 4th down, but this time they will send the field goal unit out. You've got a kicker and Aaron Sears, a freshman whose long is 38, and this will be from 43 yards.
It's a disappointing lack of conversion right there. Not a perfect throw by Copeland, but could have been caught. You heard Rusty Wright talk about the drops being frustrating. That would have been a continuation of that drive had they not dropped the football.
Hold is good. Kick sneaks over the crossbar from 43 yards out, and we've got ourselves a 1-point ball game in Lexington. There on the sideline. It's been a weird year already for the FCS. Several upsets, including 3 of Power 5 teams. One in the Southeastern Conference with Vanderbilt dropping one in week 1. Obviously, Chattanooga would love nothing more to be added to that list. They've got 54 consecutive losses against the Southeastern Conference. They've played the SEC over 100 times over the years. This might be as close as they've come in quite some time. A 1-point game, 3rd quarter. Wildcats looking for something special on special teams. Not that time for Zach Johnson. A 6-yard return, and we'll get another look at Will Levis and this Kentucky offense. All right, Ben, this is not what any of us expected out of Kentucky offensively. How do they right the ship? How do they get some continuity going on offense?
Oh, honestly, I would lean on that big blue wall. I would give a heavy dose of Chris Rodriguez and Cavassier Smoke and continue to lean on body blows against an opponent that pound for pound doesn't match up against you.
They took your advice. Rodriguez takes the football and drags defenders for a gain of 6. Clark, what do you have?
You know, field level, there's a huge size discrepancy in terms of the big blue wall in Chattanooga's defensive line. Look at the right side. You got Darian Kennard, for example. He's 6'5", 345, going up against Ben Bruton, who weighs 228. This is an offensive line that can make a huge difference in this game. Just ride it with guys like Rodriguez, who has the ball right now.
And Rodriguez powers ahead for a first down to the 35-yard line. You got Kennard, an All-American at right tackle. You've got Rosenthal, talented transfer from LSU in the left side. Luke Fortner is the co-offensive lineman of the week in the SEC. We've become accustomed to seeing that front 5 dominate in Kentucky wins.
Let those big guys eat.
Five more yards for Rodriguez. Clark?
You know, Kennard's one of the top run blocking tackles in all of college football, and you guys were talking about food. I thought it was hilarious in his bio. If he could only have 3 types of food for the rest of his life: steak, chicken Alfredo, and kettle corn. Mine would be chicken parm, pizza, and meatballs. I don't know about you guys.
Oh gosh, I'm pretty much on board with everything except for Alfredo. That just scares me. We had a good pregame meal last night, local steakhouse. Downed a few steaks and some sides. No Alfredo though. Discipline.
No, you're not carb loading.
No, not carb loading for this
keto.
I like this drive. I know that it's not glamorous right now, but you're in 3rd and short. This should be a conversion, as we talked about this offensive line. Let's stay in phase, start and continue to deliver body blows to this Mocs defense, and eventually these 4- and 5-yard gains will turn into 25-yard gains.
Smoke now the back on 3rd down. He gets it and he's dropped for a loss.
Wow.
Oh goodness, swarming in was Devontae Maxwell. 21 career sacks for Maxwell, and he read that play all the way.
Looked like a slant by the Mocs defensive front, able to get significant penetration. Let's take a look at this. You see that? All of the Mocs defensive linemen move a gap, a full gap removed, a big slant, was able to get penetration and now force UK to punt.
That is 5 consecutive failed 3rd down conversions for this Kentucky offense. This is almost becoming hard to explain. Kentucky's defense will be back on the field when we come back from Lexington. For an 8th straight win versus the Gators, you got to go back to Tim Tebow the last time Florida defeated Bama. Georgia, 29-9 record at home against South Carolina, though the Gamecocks won it 2 years ago between the hedges. And Auburn, Penn State, going to be a whiteout in Happy Valley. SEC Big Ten. That's the game of the week. See the rest of the slate. Mississippi State against a dangerous Memphis squad. Speaking of dangerous, do not sleep on Tulane, former SEC member, taking on Ole Miss, Stanford, and Vanderbilt in a rare Pac-12 SEC matchup. Whenever I think of Tulane Green Wave football, I think of the fun little helmet that Tulane will be sporting. They're going old school in the game today. Look at that. Oh, I mean, that's, if I had a collection of helmets at home, that would be on the front shelf.
Vicious. That looks like intimidation personified right there. I love it though. And I like the SEC champions shout outs to those SEC champions in the 30s and 40s.
They won 3 of them back in the day. All right, let's see if Kentucky's defense can provide a spark on 2nd and 10. Big hole left side, and racing through it is Alim Ford for 6.
You know, Kentucky's defensive front, they're getting the penetration and able to bottle in Alim Ford, but what a nice little subtle hesitation to work back across that formation to turn a play that was bottled up and would have been taken down at the line of scrimmage to now get into a 3rd and short for Chattanooga.
Rice out of the backfield for the Mocs. Copeland out of the shotgun. Four-man rush. Copeland settles, fires, completes it, and that's going to be right near the sticks. Ball caught by Arnett, square on the tackle.
And was able to get his hands out. Looks like he was easily past the 1st down marker. Feels like it's been a while since we've seen a Moc make a catch. Had some critical drops. The opening drive, they had an opportunity to keep the red zone drive alive, but there was an unfortunate drop. Just continue to execute, continue to find your open receiver, deliver the ball quickly, make the catches, and move the ball down the field.
Straight ahead running, and another big hole. Churning those legs all the way is Ford, and that'll be another 10 yards.
The Mocs offensive line just executing well, allowing the penetration of the UK defense against them. They're able to get into the backfield, but Lim Ford is able to squirt behind them. They're able to cut a hole, find a knife and edge, and crease the gaps. And Lim Ford is able to find them either on the front side, but more often he's finding them on the back side of these zone plays.
They believe they have a gem in Ford, who somehow got out of the state of South Carolina, was under-recruited. Another first down, running in circles is Copeland. Taps it, fires it, and is fortunate just to wind up with no loss on the play. Great pressure by Josh Paschal.
Copeland had a very similar play like that last week in their game versus North Alabama. A little bit of a Houdini. He's able to sense that pressure in the pocket coming from behind. He whirligigs around and able to find space and keep his eyes downfield.
Whirligig?
Whirligig.
I like it. Second down, screen set up, and somehow squirting free was Ford. That play looked like it could be disastrous, but they get positive yardage, a gain of 6.
That goes back to the small demeanor of Ford. He's so compact and close to the ground. I was on the field often with Maurice Jones-Drew, played for the Jaguars for all those years. You can get behind those offensive linemen, and it's hard for defenders to identify. And then when you do get your arms on him, there's not much to tackle. He's almost as wide as he is tall.
Mocs hit on the last third down. 7th play of the drive. 3rd down and 4.
But the Mocs are staying in 3rd and manageable. UK defense has not been able to get pressure. For the most part, Copeland has had clean pockets or able to step up into a pocket to find his receivers. They just haven't made as many catches.
Timeout Chattanooga, 4:32 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Now, sometimes stats can be misleading. Kentucky's been leading the battle of total yards throughout this game. They're trailing though in the second half. They barely had the football. Another long drive for the Mocs. This is the 7th play of the drive and a critical 3rd and 4. Kentucky blitz straight up the middle. Pass complete and then in and out of the hands. And that'll go incomplete. Tony had it. Corker might have stripped it away. It'll be incomplete, and the Mocs will be forced to punt it away.
One of the first times we've seen pressure get home by this UK defense. That time it's looked like DeAndre Square that came on the blitz and was able to get in the face, force the throw a beat before Cole Copeland wanted to get it out of his hands. Feels like a long time since UK has made a statement play.
Square, a 3-year starter, one of the leaders of that defense, making a big play. This is not a good play. Robinson keeps allowing the ball to bounce, and that time it goes all the way inside the 10, so Kentucky has its work cut out for it. A 47-yard punt, no return. Kentucky with maybe the drive of the game, because at some point you keep allowing Chattanooga to hang around, and all of a sudden the pressure turns to you.
Yeah, it's already happened. At this point, Chattanooga now believes, boys, we're in it. This is it. Let's go get it now. If Kentucky would have come out of the second half and marched down the field for a touchdown and then forced a 3 and out and then marched down for a touchdown, they grasp control. But now they've given Chattanooga life, and they're going to have to fight this all the way to the end.
Rodriguez did not like what was behind door number 1, so he bounces outside and picks up 7.
How about the fact that Lim Ford, the running back for Chattanooga, has 3 times the yardage on the ground than Chris Rodriguez?
Well, I think the lack of dominance on both lines of scrimmage for Kentucky has been a storyline today. Second and short. Levis on the run. Finds the tight end, and muscling his way to the marker is Riggs.
continue to try to establish this run game, because the hallmark of a Liam Cohen offense coming from that LA Rams Sean McVay tree is a dominant run game. That's when this offense runs well, is you run, hard play action. Let Will Levis do that hard play action fake, get his eyes around and find a Wan'Dale Robinson down the field.
Rodriguez straight ahead, bouncing and now being thrown down like a rag doll behind the line of scrimmage. That's Ty Beck on the tackle with Christian Smith.
And now it's Chattanooga's defense that is being the bully.
Kark, what do you have?
Ben, you mentioned moments ago that Chattanooga believes they can stay in this game. You know, there's only about 18 minutes left, and I was on their sideline. There is a lot of life on that sideline. The contrast, Kentucky, you know when you're a heavy favorite, eventually one of your leaders steps up and screams at a player or two. I haven't seen that once.
That's a great point. You know, where's your Benny Snell, your Cash Daniel, that kind of player to rally the troops right about now. That's Devonshea Maxwell, their best defensive lineman. He, of the 21 career sacks, makes another big play.
And what Chattanooga is doing defensively is forcing UK to earn every yard. That last screen route to the tight end, he had to fight tooth and nail just to get the first down yardage. You get a screen set up that looks well, but they tackle him as soon as the catch is made. They're forcing UK to earn every inch of it.
Blitz coming on 3rd and 10. Levis throws. He got him at the 41-yard line to Robinson. That was all Will Levis. Completely patient, strong, and mobile for 23 yards.
A lot of pressure, a lot of bodies flying around Will Levis. A lot of blitzers coming. He is able to navigate that pocket, keep his eyes downfield, and deliver an accurate strike to Wan'Dale Robinson, coming all the way across that field. Spectacular individual effort by Will Levis right there.
Boy, does that become a huge play. Levis on play action, looking deep downfield. Little corner route. That's picked off. Picked off by Freeman. Jumped the route and got the pick, the 3rd turnover for Kentucky.
Eyes in the backfield from the secondary from Chattanooga. Yet again, a long developing play. UK was trying to capture the energy, capture the momentum, take a shot downfield after that exciting first down conversion. And it's Wan'Dale Robinson on the out route, and really not enough separation between those two wide receivers. Doesn't put the defender in conflict, and it's Freeman who able to keep his eyes and bait that ball in, and then drive on the route when the ball is in the air. Secures a huge momentum swing and the turnover for this Mocs football team.
It's a heck of an effort by Freeman. Not only to jump the route, but to hold on to the football on a diving pick. So the miscues for Kentucky continue. Still a 1-point game. And Chattanooga not playing conservative at all. Back to the air, and Henderson.
You know, when Kark was talking about having that one star player that grabs everybody by the face mask and says, guys, we're the Goliath in this situation. We've got to come out and be the bully. You know, talking to Brad White yesterday, defensive coordinator, they don't really have that on that side of the ball. There's not one Josh Allen transcendent talent.
Right.
That everybody looks to. Will Levis wants to be that guy, but he's a first-year starter.
Second down. Big hole left side. Into plus territory. A first down for Ford, who continues to be the player of the game. 14 more yards on that pickup.
The creativity that the Chattanooga offensive line is using to find the creases where they're outmatched size-wise against this big defensive front led by Marquand McCall. They're chopping them down, they're zone blocking, they're double team, a lot of variety, and Alim Ford is doing an excellent job, and this Chattanooga Mocs offense is doing a spectacular effort at staying in this game.
Well, if you want to look at how this is still a 1-point game, look at the drives for Kentucky in this second half. 2 picks, a lost fumble, a punt, just 51 yards of offense. Not much has gone right. Meanwhile, the Mocs are keeping the pressure on this Kentucky defense. That'll back them up 5. It's kind of hard to believe. Not so much that the game is close. I mean, again, we've highlighted that's happened a lot already this year with good FCS programs, not just any FCS program, top 25 FCS program here in Chattanooga. But it's the way that they're in this game that I think has been impressive, particularly on the line of scrimmage. I'm not seeing the domination from Kentucky in the trenches.
Absolutely.
On 1st and 15, they'll keep it on the ground, and there's more daylight for Ford. Big Price down the sideline. Tyrell Price with another big game on the ground for Chattanooga.
I am completely shocked at the running lanes that these Mocs running backs have to go through. They're able to wad up the defensive front, and then these running backs, look at these moves at the second level, dodging back and forth, excellent blocking downfield by Reginald Henderson. That's how you take a 4-yard gain and turn it into a 40-yard gain. Wide receiver blocking.
Kark. 33-yard gain. Over the middle, and a touchdown saving deflection by Jaquez Jones. Because I'm here to tell you, if he doesn't get his hand on it, that is 6 points for the Mocs.
Wow. Able to get pressure in the face of Cole Copeland. Just not quite enough. Oh, what a spectacular, what a spectacular effort to get up and knock that ball, because Chris James, the converted quarterback, was going to walk mosey into the end zone.
James was quarantined in the end zone. I mean, there was no one within 10 yards of him. Remember that play as this game moves along.
And that's been, unfortunately, in many ways, Chattanooga's been the beneficiary of miscues from the UK offense and defense. But Chattanooga has had some drops, had some unfortunate tipped balls that would have been huge opportunities to convert points.
Offside on the defense. He was in the neutral zone, causing the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, second down.
I'm not sure he is. Didn't get a number there, but another miscue by Kentucky.
Now 2nd and 5. That totally opens up your playbook. Run, pass, the whole gamut.
Copeland out of the gun, looks for the play on the far sideline. 1-point game, 4th quarter. Kentucky looking for another 3-0 start under Coach Mark Stoops. And this time, nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Ford stacked up and dropped for a loss. Wan'Dale Robinson leading the charge.
That's the kind of rally to the ball, the wadding up at that line of scrimmage that I expect out of the UK defensive front. It's really been that mid-zone, anywhere from the tackle out, that Chattanooga has been able to find success. UK needs to continue to bottle up inside and wad things up, because they've been getting chopped down and leaving lanes, getting on different levels. They got to bottle everything and keep it inside and in front.
Big time 3rd down here, 3rd and 7. Blitz by Kentucky. Throw is wide of the mark. Incomplete. The pressure got there. Henderson was the intended target, but that was a rush throw from Copeland.
Bringing pressure off of the short side of the field into the boundary, forces that pass a little bit before Copeland wanted to get it out, and a little bit before the wide receiver was able to get out of the top of his route.
Aaron Sears has already hit from 27 and 43. This is a 30-yard attempt. The freshman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The Mocs have the lead in the 4th quarter. 13:27 to play. How will Kentucky respond? Now, turnovers have certainly helped paved the way. You talk about how do you win one of these games as a major underdog. And you pick up some takeaways. There's a pick right there on that play. And another turnover here, and then yet another turnover on a pass intended for Robinson. That was Rashawn Freeman on the pick, and you look at what Kentucky has done or not done on the last 6 drives. It's been turnovers and punts and not a whole lot else. Zach Johnson on the return for the Wildcats races out to the 22-yard line, and we'll see if the Wildcats offense can get the wake-up call here in the 4th quarter. 3 punts, 2 picks, and a lost fumble the last 6 drives. That's not good.
And the longest rushing attempt, or the longest rush of the day for the University of Kentucky, 11 yards. 11 yards. This is the #1 rush offense in all of the SEC, and they haven't had a rush on an FCS opponent over 11 yards.
Under center is Levis. Rodriguez behind him, probes the right side. Second effort, takes it out to the 25 for a couple of hard-earned yards. Clark, what do you have?
You know, you guys are talking about the ground game. I'm going to talk about the air game. Field level, there is not a player on Chattanooga that can run with Wan'Dale Robinson. Multiple times he's had separation, beating his man. He's an electric playmaker from the days he played in Kentucky as a high school player. He's a state player of the year, accumulated over 8,000 yards. If you watched him at Nebraska, this guy's dynamic, 1 in blue.
Yeah, 8 catches for 111 yards. They were so happy to get him back to his home state, and he's made an immediate impact. You see what he's done in his first couple of games in a Kentucky uniform. They've gotten to him quite a bit. They've targeted him already 11 times today, but you're missing that one huge explosive play. Maybe he's due for one on this drive.
Well, and Will Levis talked about, you know, he didn't get on campus until after spring ball.
Right.
So there's a chemistry element that has to come together between a quarterback and a wide receiver, and that's still growing for those two.
On 3rd and 2. This is what Levis brings you, some athleticism and some hard-nosed running into Mocs territory for a first down, a pickup of 21.
So now there's a lightning rod play. Let's keep the throttle down. I'm trying to decipher. That doesn't look like a called quarterback draw to me. That looks like an athlete looking downfield, saying, hey, there's a wide open grass in front of me. I'm going to take it.
Longest run of the day for Kentucky. Rodriguez behind Levis on first down. It'll be Rodriguez toting the rock and goes nowhere. Again, I'm amazed the lack of creases, holes for Kentucky's running backs.
Well, but how often have we seen any read option?
Right.
Any times where you put that defensive front in conflict? This is more pro style. This is more line up, hand the ball off, and let your offensive line execute. But they're not getting the movement. They're not getting the displacement. I would start throwing in some zone read and some read option and let that athletic Will Levis potentially pull the ball and get some yardage that way and light a fuse for this offense.
Hit as he throws. That was forward. So it will be an incomplete pass. That's almost in danger of being a lateral, which of course would be a fumble. Ruben Lowry on the hit.
Well, that was a big hit that Will Levis just took. He's a big, we talked about it, the guy's built like an action hero. That is a big hit, unblocked, didn't see it coming. You can only take so many of those. It doesn't matter how many muscles you've got.
Now a 3rd down and 9. Fake the draw. Levis from the pocket. Levis over the middle looking for Robinson. Contact and 2 flags. There's your PI, and that'll be a first down for Big Blue.
A 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Will Levis was not going to overthrow Wan'Dale Robinson again. And he actually underthrows him in this circumstance, but it works out in their advantage as Wan'Dale comes back trying to recover and get back to that football, runs into the defender, easy pass interference call. But Will Levis's deep ball has not been nearly as dialed in today as it has been the first 2 weeks.
As Clark just mentioned, that's the guy that needs to make some big plays. Wan'Dale Robinson. They'll gladly take the first down on the pass interference. Not much room that time for Cavassier. Smoke. Tyrell Ajian on the stop after a yard.
But see, yet again, this is a traditional turn, hand the ball off, let your offensive lineman block. And right now, they're not getting the movement. They're not getting the displacement. They're not creasing the gaps of this Chattanooga defense. Really, they're getting met in the backfield. I would continue to try to find a read option. Let Will Levis. Athletic quarterbacks thrive every once in a while when they get to carry that ball and just be a football player instead of a quarterback.
7th play of the drive. On play action, Levis. Nice pocket form. Wide open target. Touchdown! It's the tight end, Isaiah Cummings. 31 yards and a score, and Kentucky's back on top.
A double move by the talented tight end. On the near side of the field, working towards the sideline, then breaks up to the back of the end zone. A long developing play. His offensive line gives Will Levis the opportunity to stand in the pocket, keep downfield for a big touchdown.
Well, we have been waiting for the big pass play in the second half for Kentucky. They got it. Maybe not the candidate we thought, but they'll take it.
Isaiah Cummings going to be the hero of the day. Will Levis finds.
And it's been a while, quite frankly. It's been a sluggish second half for Kentucky. And of all the candidates to get the go-ahead score, how about the first career touchdown for the tight end, the sophomore Isaiah Cummings.
They'll take it any way they can get it right now with UK.
Now we'll see if Kentucky's defense rises to the occasion. A 5-point game. 10 minutes and change on the clock here in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats trying to make it 3-0 on the season. The Mocs will take over from the 25. Ben Hartsock break it down.
So we got 2 tight ends down here to the bottom of the field, and you've got a deep half safety, and you put them in conflict right as these 2 tight ends swap routes. That deep safety on the 10-yard line thinks, I've got the deep route on the inside, but when the outside receiver breaks to the back of the end zone, it was game over. The best part of that may be the offensive line giving Will Levis, that's a slow developing play, giving him ample time to deliver that football accurately to the tight end, Isaiah Cummings.
Well, in case you've just joined us and you're wondering what has happened to keep this game close, well, Chattanooga's done a lot of things right. Let's start with that. They played a heck of a game. Kentucky, a number of miscues before retaking the lead on that last touchdown pass from Levis. The first career touchdown for Isaiah Cummings, a route that left him wide open. 7 yards on first down for the Mocs. Now Lynn Ford continues to be the go-to guy for Chattanooga. Jacquez Jones down on the turf. Young man from Tuscaloosa, 3 years at Ole Miss. Great productivity in Oxford, but wanted to try out another defense. They rave about linebackers coach John Summerall. That was certainly part of the equation for him to transfer to Lexington. Had a big pick in the win against Mizzou last week.
Kind of a sneaky hot day here in Lexington. Looks like they were stretching him out there on the field. But Jacquez Jones is a guy that comes in, was able to immediately earn the respect of his teammates. He's got a lot of experience coming over from Ole Miss, but it is a real challenge. It's a new era of college athletics with transfers and trying to integrate yourself into a team that has a lot of previous history with one another is a real challenge, and this coaching staff said Jacquez Jones did a great job of making himself one of the guys.
To the pass game on second down. That play has been gold today for the Mocs. Chris James on the grab, pickup of 10 on the first down.
Chris James, the tight end for the UT Chattanooga Mocs. I really like the way he plays. He's a converted quarterback that had no idea. It was funny talking with Rusty Wright about him, who played the tight end position himself, said he did not have any idea how to execute a block, but he has want to. That's so much of the tight end position about, especially with blocking and engaging at that line of scrimmage, is about want to, and Chris James has it.
Moccasins have put together some good drives in this game, trying to do it again. Tapped around and caught by McKinnon. Wow. 25 yards on a deflected reception from Kenor McKinnon.
Another big play by him. And that ball tipped by Wan'Dale Robinson. Incredible focus to adjust to that ball while in the air and secure it while you have a defender wrapped up around your body. Great. That's one of the bigger plays we've seen out of this Mocs offense.
Well, first you had the concentration on the tip, then he's got to wrestle it away. As you mentioned, Cedric Dortch right in his grill and just tears it away from him on the grab. I'm not sure what they're stopping play for here. Now, one of the officials might have gotten banged up. 9 minutes remaining. Fun times here in Lexington. That's one of the few times you'll see in a football game a timeout, one of the officials not feeling so hot. That's Eric Pratt, the line judge. They always have a backup ready in case they needed one there. But Eric Pratt said, no, you're not going to the bullpen. I'm a gamer. I'm staying in. Play ball. Good work, Eric Pratt.
Referees never want to be a part of the storyline of the game, especially for that reason.
I'll tell you one of the things it does, it actually takes away some of the momentum that Chattanooga had on this drive. They were just moving down the field, one play after another, and now a lengthy stoppage in play. We'll see what that does to the Mocs, who have a 1st down and 10 in Kentucky territory at the 33-yard line. Four in the pattern for Copeland, under hot pursuit. Copeland, penalty flags dropping all over the place, and Copeland will tuck it and run out of bounds. Might have been a hold on the right tackle, Colin Truitt.
Big bodies were chasing down Cole Copeland right there wearing blue.
Number 74 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 1st down.
Right there at the right tackle.
You know what,
Josh
though?
Paschal.
Ben, if I'm Cole Copeland, I'm saying thank you, because I'd rather take that 10-yard hold than what would have been a sack, maybe a turnover.
Worth it. Worth it. And I think you're exactly right. I mean, we had just come off the excitement of Kenor McKinnon. That timeout for the official really took all of the air out of the momentum for UT Chattanooga. That was a big moment that they had just captured on that tipped pass. And now you couple that up with a penalty, and you've got 1st and forever.
And 1st down and 20. They need the 23-yard line for the 1st down. And good hands catch by the reliable Reginald Henderson. He picks up 8 yards. Transfer from Middle Tennessee State.
You know, it's really interesting as this 4th quarter's gotten underway. It's a competitive, tightly contested game, but nobody has really done anything dynamic. There just hasn't been offense or defense anything noteworthy that has said, hey, this team's on the rise. This team is carrying the day. We're still waiting for somebody to take hold of this game to get the win.
On play action, Copeland gets hammered, lofts it up there, and it's picked off by Kentucky at the 5. That's Ajian. Ajian, the safety, with a convoy down the sideline. Foot race. Touchdown, Kentucky! 95 yards! There's your big play on defense, my friend.
Almost like we queued it up right there. It has really been a slog here in the third and fourth quarter. Neither team stepping up to make that dynamic play. And it's Tyrell Ajian, an untimely pass by Cole Copeland, throwing the ball late back across the formation. And it's Tyrell Ajian who's able to step up, and then a spectacular individual effort by him to work all the way down the field to convert for a touchdown.
First pick of the season for the senior out of Mansfield, Ohio. One that he will not soon forget.
Copeland's looking towards the left side of the field. Tries to come back in, but didn't see that it was Ajian who was playing that far safety. Again, keeping the eyes in the backfield, was able to easily jump in front. And then what an impressive individual effort right there to not run out of gas all the way down the field. I can tell you that in those moments, the field feels like it's 125 yards long, not 100.
Tell you what, too, credit on that pick. Octavius Oxendine, first time we've called his name today. He delivered the hit on Copeland as he threw it, and that helped pave the way for a turnover.
And an excellent block there on the quarterback by number 21 on the UK defense.
Oh, how quickly things can change. Kentucky was down 2 points just a few minutes ago. Now up by 12. I was about to throw out a stat that I think really defines the Mark Stoops era. There's so many superlatives, but in the last 5 years in games decided by 7 points or less, which is kind of where it looked like we might be headed.
Yeah.
16-7, and a lot of those wins against SEC competition, they've been really good in close games, is the point. This would certainly qualify as a close game, trailing in the fourth quarter, but now a little bit of breathing room, up by 12.
Yeah, and it says a lot about a team's character to be able to grind out tough victories like that. You saw that last week versus Missouri. Some things didn't bounce their way. It should have been a wider margin of error of victory, but there were unforced errors in that game as well. You've got quarterback, you've got the running back Chris Rodriguez, who had the fumble at the goal line. You've had some turnovers. You've had penalties. So yeah, you want to be proud of this team for finding ways to get gritty wins. But unfortunately, a lot of those wins are so gritty and grimy and closely contested because you shot yourself in the foot, because you throw interceptions, because you've had fumbles, because you line up incorrectly, because you have substitution errors. That's been far too much of this UK team through now what is almost its third full complete week of games. I know that is going to be something that Mark Stoops will focus on, is cleaning up these mental errors that continue to happen for UK.
Well, now the pressure, even as a heavy underdog, is on Chattanooga, because they've been playing with house money for much of this game. This drive becomes perhaps the drive of the game if you're Chattanooga. Stop the bleeding, make it a one-possession game with a score. Time starting to become of the essence with 7:40 to play.
And they're starting to, the clock is starting to work against them when it's a multiple possession game. They're going to have to move down the field quicker than they've had success with this second half. They've been moving more slowly and methodically.
Dragged down at the line of scrimmage, Jaquez Jones with a healthy tackle, but there's a flag on the play. I wonder if he got a little face mask on the tackle of Price. Might have been Ripka, number 90 on the tackle. We'll see on the replay. Yep, there's Ripka pleading his case.
There is no foul for a face mask. Second down.
Okay.
Chattanooga continuing to try to work that middle zone, and there's Ripka, who gets the tackle, able to grab by the breastplate. That's where they thought he might have gotten his face mask, but Ripka's saying, listen, I was getting held. I couldn't disengage from the guy trying to block me.
Copeland out of the shotgun on second down and 10. Four-man rush by Kentucky. Over the middle. And a nice job of holding on by James, absorbing the contact. That'll move him up 6 yards.
If I were Chattanooga, I'd be moving with a little bit more urgency. Not a full-blown hurry-up offense, but just with a little bit more tempo. The clock's continuing to run here. You've got to score multiple times in this game.
Complete at the marker for a first down. And that is the first grab for Mays on the day, 9 yards. And a first down. Corker was on the coverage. Ball now at the 40.
Lots of substitutions, both sides of the ball here. Trying to find ways to find matchups that they like.
Taking a lot of time.
Yeah.
And that's not going to do any good either because it's a minimal gain. More time off the clock. KD McDaniel on the tackle for Kentucky.
When UK's making adjustments to that soft edge that Chattanooga's been working on the UK defense. That time they bring Carrington Valentine from the cornerback position on the near side of the field. He's going to be the one to set the edge to try to continue to corral that running attack.
On second down, pressure coming straight up the middle, and a nicely thrown pass right into the hands of Henderson for the first down. Into plus territory after a gain of 12 yards.
UK's got to find a way to get more pressure. I know that they don't have any distinct known pass rushing threats, and we know that Jordan Wright is not playing in today's game, but there needs to get more pressure. You can't let any quarterback have that much time when you're throwing against a zone defense. It's just too easy.
I don't see Josh Paschal on the field, and he would be one of the top candidates for that. Another completion and dragging defenders inside the 35-yard line is Henderson, their go-to target, a pickup of 13.
Chattanooga is executing at a high level right now. It's taken about 3 minutes off of the clock, which is about right. And here they are right on the fringe of the red zone. Need to get a touchdown, can't settle for a field goal. But they're executing, they're comfortable, they're not put in stress. UK has not been able to put them on in any kind of stress.
7th play of the drive. Fake the run, toss to the tight end, a play they have fallen in love with today. James on the grab, Jones on the tackle, pickup of 5.
Continuing to work in the edges, the outside zone, mid zone, not working right up the middle of that Kentucky defense.
You're a former tight end. Why is that play open so often today?
Well, it's misdirection. There's so many things that are happening. You've got a running back that's working towards one side of the field while simultaneously that tight end is going to the opposite side of the field. That's just a lot for linebackers to process.
Second down, nothing doing on the run. There's Josh Paschal, who I just alluded to earlier, back on the field and back making plays.
2 strong defensive stands right there by the Kentucky defense. Now puts the Chattanooga Mocs in 3rd down and 6.
We all agree 4 down territory.
Yeah.
Field goal does you no good, so they need basically 6 yards in 2 downs. Copeland with pressure right on target to Arnett, out of bounds, and a first down.
An excellent job. Pressure brought by the UK defensive front. But when you've got a defender that's going to give you that much cushion, Tyrell Arnett puts that foot in the ground, comes back, and Copeland delivers the ball on time away from the defender and gives him a fresh set of downs.
Copeland, the junior from Cleveland, Tennessee, has been sharp. 10th play of the drive. Straight ahead running, getting tackled after a pickup of a couple for Ford. He's got to be flirting with the century mark. Yeah, he's over 100 now, 112 yards unofficially.
Now they're picking up some pressure now. No huddle, get to the line of scrimmage.
It forward 116 yards. Second down. How about more forward? How about another first down for the Mocs?
I wanted to be critical of that play call. As I see that they were going to go with the run, I thought, oh, you're going to continue to let this clock run. You're
right.
3-4 yards, but when you get a 7 yards and a first down conversion, stops the clock, allows things to continue.
This is the 12th play of the drive. Penalty flag on the play. This run might be for naught. It is out to the 1 yard line by Ford, but there's a flag right around the snap on the near side of the field of the 10 yard line.
Chattanooga has run the same inside run play 3 times in a row now. And Kentucky.
Illegal substitution on the defense. A penalty is declined.
Wow.
Second down.
That's a second time that's happened. And the first time, Mark Stoops gave the referee an earful for about 10 minutes.
Here, guys, it's second and goal. Chattanooga has marched down the field.
It's a 13-play drive.
With very little resistance.
Right. It's the 13th play of the drive. Well, they go Wildcat, low snap, and devoured in the backfield is Ford. Oh, I'm surprised they got cute there. DeAndre Square blew him up.
I don't like that call. You've had so much success staying with your traditional offense. Why go with something that you only practice limited reps in a practice?
On the 1 yard line. Yeah. Third and goal when we come back.
On the line, you want to run the play you've repped a million times. And this is not that play for the Chattanooga Mocs. You can see it, a bad snap. The running back, Lim Ford, struggles to pick it up. His offensive linemen aren't firing off. And you can see Rusty Wright is beside himself with that missed opportunity.
Former tight end for his alma mater, the Mocs, teammate of Tyrell Owens. Third down and goal. And a beautifully designed play that time. Copeland will coast into the end zone. Everybody in blue went for the fake. And Copeland all alone finds pay dirt. We've got a ball game again with 1:20 to go.
Now that's a play that you've repped a million times through spring practice and training camp and every other game. But the fun is the exciting part of it is that play has two options. You can hand it off to a Lim Ford who's rushed for 128 yards on the day. Everybody in the building knew that might be the case. So you let the quarterback keep it and he walks in for an uncontested touchdown.
Likely onside kick upcoming with 1:20 to go. A 5-point game here in Lexington.
When you're undermatched, yeah, it's going to be difficult. But look at Copeland reading that defensive end, pulls the ball out of the belly of the running back. Everybody on UK's defense committed to the running back, and Copeland is able to walk in easily.
That is a 14-play, 75-yard drive, 6 minutes and 19 seconds off the clock, and one they simply had to have. The margin of error was not there, and give them credit. You and I kept looking at the clock and wondering, they got enough urgency here? But bottom line is they did get the points.
Yeah.
Now you do have to get the onside kick.
You have to get the onside kick, and you have to execute quickly if you're fortunate enough to get the possession and try to go win this football game, because you can't settle for a field goal. You've got to go for a touchdown. But this is what UK gets. They have forced themselves into this circumstance. There were countless times throughout this game, whether it be overthrowing Wan'Dale Robinson, forced penalties, stalled drives. So many times Kentucky could have taken this game by the neck and put Chattanooga in a corner, but you gave them belief, and now here we are, a minute go, and they believe.
Well, you know this as a former player, even in a win, sometimes there's a lot to clean up. They got a big game against the Gamecocks next week. There'll be a lot to clean up watching this film back in the players' meeting.
I can promise you, if UK wins this game, it's not going to feel like it tomorrow in film study.
Right. I mean, total yards almost dead even. Kentucky with a lot of sloppiness. Chattanooga onside kick. High bounce, and Kentucky very fortunate to come away with it. That's Josh Ali. That ball was up in the air for a seeming eternity before Ali took matters into his own hands and reeled it in.
During the course of my playing career, I have played that position multiple times as the recovery man. It is a high pucker situation, and that is a worst case scenario for a return man. The bounce right up into the air. You know that you're going to take a shot. Spectacular focus and execution by Josh Ali to secure that for the UK football team.
So if I'm reading you right, I think I am. That's an HPS, high pucker situation?
Absolutely.
Just confirming. Clarifying, in case you're scoring at home, that's Ben Hartsock, Paul Carcaterra, Mike Morgan. It's been a lot of fun today, probably more fun than you would have wanted to see if you're a Kentucky fan. This was very much a four-quarter game, and there might have been a lot of puckering going on in this fourth quarter for the Wildcats, but they are about to improve to 3-0 for the third time under Coach Mark Stoops. They did it in 2017, 2018, and they will do it in 2021. Victory formation for Will Levis. We'll see if Chattanooga elects to call their final timeout or just let it run out.
The good news for UK fans, all of these mistakes are fixable. You're not deficient in any area. You're not vulnerable from a position group that you simply can't work with. You have talent. All of these errors are maddening to a football coach because they're mental. They're just, it's a lack of focus, a lack of discipline. And the best thing you can have in a situation like this where Kentucky wants to believe they're in the beginnings of a special season is you can grow from a win. You still get the win, so you're still having the hopes for your football season, but you've got the fear and the frustration of, hey, we have to straighten these problems out.
Karks with the winning coach. Kark.
Coach, where did Chattanooga challenge you the most today?
Everywhere. Got to give them credit. They really played a hard game. They did a good job. They were well coached and really played a full game.
Where do you feel like your team left the most on the table?
Well, I mean, that's not fair to them. They played better than us, coached very well. But I think the only good thing about this is we're 3-0. There's still, in wins and in losses, there's a lot to learn. We just got to get better and keep on moving on.
One player for you, Wan'Dale Robinson, third straight game with 100 yards receiving. What does he mean to this offense?
Oh, he's very explosive. He's working hard. Made some great plays down the field. And again, they really did a good job and challenged us down the field as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The third 3-0 start for that man and his Kentucky Wildcats. They'll be ready for the South Carolina Gamecocks next week. Final score, Kentucky wins at 28-23. For Paul Carcaterra, Ben Hartsock, and our entire crew, Mike Morgan saying so long from Lexington.